truth is that at the end of the day, what is most important to an economist is the welfare of the people. You can have all the indicators looking positive, but if people are unhappy, then you will have happy statistics and unhappy people. One. Two, I've heard all the analysts say here that subsidy has been removed. No, the truth is that subsidy has been reduced. If the subsidy is removed, then the price of PMS, as you see it today, will be much higher than what it is. Now, having said that.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria and its aftermath. You know that fuel subsidy was a major issue in the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria, and it has still remained a major issue since after the election. Recall that virtually all the presidential candidates say that they are going to remove the fuel subsidy. P2B said that it's going to go the first day. It will go immediately because he has found out, like so many did, that that is bestium of criminality in Nigeria. So he said that it will go. As when Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually Nigeria didn't know about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's stand on fuel subsidy. Because one, as when Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current president, did not participate in most of the debates that were held ahead of the election. So Nigerians were literally not aware of anything, any promises of him. Because even when his few minutes statements during campaign stopovers was nothing to write home about. It was all about noise and dance and all that. There was no specifics. They talk about his manifesto. How many Nigerians have time to go and read manifestos? Nigerians don't bother themselves reading about manifestos. They take people by their word, especially those who participated, who made themselves available to the media. There are a lot of reports on their position in respect of fuel subsidy. Now, fuel subsidy has been said to be a scam. And it appears that even after Tinubu claimed that he has removed fuel subsidy, or is it the Buhari administration? Because Tinubu said that he's not the one that removed it, that it was already being removed by Buhari administration. Meanwhile, Buhari administration, speaking through Gabashiru, is saying that they didn't remove it because they want Tinubu to win. That's why they didn't remove it. You know, there's sort of conflict in that kind of position. But whatever may be the case, the fuel subsidy was not budgeted for under Buhari administration. But Tinubu has been praised for removing the subsidy. But even anytime there's a negativity on respect of that removal, some people complain that the way he removed it was wrong without providing palliatives. He will remind you that he was not the one that did it, that it was Buhari that did it, and that they were the ones that didn't put it in the budget beyond June 2023. So, whatever may be the case, Tinubu have been praised all over the place for the removal of subsidy. They said Tinubu have been courageous. And the way people speak about it, you will think that after Tinubu removed the fuel subsidy, Nigerians will no longer hear anything about fuel subsidy. But alas, you saw the video I put for you. That video, that information is not being circulated in the media. It ought to be a major issue in the media, but it is not. What you listened to, you saw a renowned economist, Bismarck Rewane, one of the best in terms of economic analysis in Nigeria, telling you that Tinubu has not fully removed fuel subsidy. He said that if fuel subsidy had been fully removed, that you will pay more than you are paying right now for fuel. So what did Tinubu do? Now I want us to understand this Rewane so that you understand his depth of insight on Nigerian economy. Because when it comes to insightful analysis on important economic issues in Nigeria, one looks no further than the man you saw a while ago, Bismarck Rewane. He is one of Nigeria's foremost economists. That's probably why, if you watch Nigerian television, you see that he's a regular face when it comes to the issues of analysis of an insightful understanding of developments in Nigerian economy. So whenever there is a topical issue, the Nigerian media never fails to get the insight of Bismarck Rewane. And the man has over 40 years experience in the financial services sector. So he is in a pole position to understand what is going on. And his wealth of knowledge is also being tapped by governments of the day. I remember he was among the economists that was put into an economic committee that ought to be advised former President Muhammadu Buhari. I don't know how much he made use of their wealth of knowledge, but there was a committee that included even the current governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo. He was in that committee. So they're supposed to advise, interface with the Buhari government, both especially from the private sector perspective, on how to address some of the issues, fundamental economic issues facing Nigeria. I don't know how far that committee was able to meet and advise Buhari. But the facts of the matter remains that Bismarck Rewane his insight matters a lot. And if he tells you that Tinubu has not fully removed fuel subsidy, you better believe him. Don't believe anything other than what he told you. Because if you believe any other thing, any other thing you believe will be propaganda. When Tinubu said on that inauguration day that no more subsidy, Nigerians thought that is the finality of the issue of subsidy, that they will never again hear anything about fuel subsidy. But what do you hear Rewane said? He said he has not fully removed the subsidy. Meaning that what he did was no different from what Goodluck Ebele Jonathan did when he removed fuel subsidy in 2012. It was no different from what Buhari and Osinbajo were talking about when they came in 2015. Don't forget that when they came in 2015, Buhari was telling everybody who cares to listen that fuel subsidy is a scam. That fuel subsidy is a scam. He was saying it throughout the campaign in 2014 and 2015. When he entered and said fuel subsidy is a scam, that they are not going to pay fuel subsidy. But at the end of the day, they were still paying the fuel subsidy, but in another name. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for a very long time, said they were not paying fuel subsidy. What they were paying is under recovery. And you ask yourself, what is the difference between under recovery and the fuel subsidy that the Jonathan administration that they took over from was paying? Or the fuel subsidy that the Yaradua administration was paying before Jonathan administration? Or even the fuel subsidy that President Obasanjo was paying before Yaradua and then Jonathan? They call this their own under recovery. For a very long time, Nigerians were deceived that Buhari was not paying subsidy, that what he was paying is under recovery. That what they pay is under recovery. That NNPC is the sole importer of fuel now. So they don't pay subsidy to marketers. That they pay, what they pay to NNPC is under recovery. But eventually, as they were about to take power, Nigerians begin to see that they were paying fuel subsidy that ran into trillions of naira. Now, fast forward to Tinubu. He said no more subsidy. With the finality with which he said it, without any palliative, Nigerians took it in their stride. Many people are suffering today in Nigeria because they do not have access to subsidized fuel. But it means that the suffering that Nigerians are passing through today, the worst is yet to come. Because from what Bismarck Rewane said, he said that Tinubu only reduced it, the fuel subsidy. It means that they are still paying subsidy, but they are not telling Nigeria they are paying subsidy. This is really the scam they talk about in this issue of subsidy, that Nigerians are always being scammed about the fuel subsidy. But you would have thought that this revelation by somebody high up there in terms of economic analysis and his position in financial services and financial sector of Nigeria, Bismarck Rewane, that it should be a major issue of discussion, but nobody's talking about it. Of course, that's why I brought it up here in this channel, where we discuss the things that the mainstream media tries to cover up and not allow Nigerians to know about it. Because from what Bismarck Rewane is saying, it means that Nigerians are up for a tougher time ahead. Because it means that in a few months' time, in a few years' time, you will hear again that Tinubu or Peter Obi, if the Supreme Court says Peter Obi that is going to take over. Because as I keep telling people, the elections are not over until the Supreme Court rule. Whoever is the Supreme Court will finally announce as the winner of the election. If it is Tinubu, well, that is the way it is. If it is Peter Obi, thank God. Whatever may be the case, it means that in a few months' time, in a few years' time, they are going to come back again to say they want to remove fuel subsidy. Meanwhile, many Nigerians are suffering today, tightening their belt, believing that no more fuel subsidy, that nobody's going to talk about the fuel subsidy again, and that all those gains they say that will come with fuel subsidy removal will be permanent now. There are so many benefits people talk about will come with fuel subsidy removal, that the money that is being wasted in fuel subsidy, because they call it a waste, that it's only the rich that are benefiting from it, that the poor are not benefiting from it, even though I disagree. Because the poor in Nigeria, the only thing they benefit from Nigerian society, from Nigerian system, is that fuel subsidy, which is the only subsidy that makes it possible for the barber, the hairdresser salon, for the tailor in the village to be able to buy fuel at affordable price to be able to run his small business. It is that could be able to fuel subsidy made it possible for the farmer in the village to use his motorcycle, go to his farm with small fuel, and then be able to transport his agricultural produce from his farm to his home and then to the market and what have you. Now, when you cut that pipeline of subsidy and now allow forces of demand and supply to determine the fuel that gets to this set of people, you strangulate their well-being, their economic capacity to be able to take care of themselves and their families. You can see even in the urban center now, the urban poor are having a hell of a time. Many people trek long distances to their offices because of high cost of transportation. Even the half removal of subsidy that Tinubu had done, but which is being packaged as if it was the final of the finals of fuel subsidy removal. This is troubling because this is a classic case of disinformation. Because they ought to have come clean that they have not really removed all this fuel subsidy 100%. Because the feeling out there in the public is that fuel subsidy has been removed 100%. Initially, I also sensed it before I came in contact with this Rewane, Bismarck Rewane video. I keep wondering, what kind of subsidy did these people remove that they are still talking about having a voice on the price of fuel? Okay? It gets me, because if you say that you have removed fuel subsidy 100%, it means that you have to open the market up. And not only NNPC will be importing fuel, make sure that you give out license just to regulate the quality that are being imported. Set up an institution that will be having like NAFDAC that will be monitoring the quality of fuel that are being brought into the country, so that several other people will break the monopoly of NNPC in fuel importation. So that you now buy fuel depending on the filling station you go to and depending on how that filling station got its fuel. But you can see there are attempts to still have a sort of control on the price of fuel in Nigeria, despite the so-called removal of fuel subsidy. That is why it's an issue that needs to be talked about further. And the government needs to come clean. They need to come and challenge Bismarck Rewane. I said that what he said here, what he said in this video, it is not true. Because if what Bismarck Rewane, who for, I take his words far more serious than whatever anybody can say now, unless the person will bring counter his argument that if subsidy was removed full scale, that we will be paying more than what we are paying right now for fuel. So they have to challenge him on that before we can believe that they have finally removed fuel subsidy 100%. But for now, you better believe Bismarck Rewane and tighten your belt. And also stop overhyping the fuel subsidy that was removed by Tinubu as if he has reinvented the wheel. What he did, whether he was the one that did it, it was Buhari that did it, depending on who you want to believe. What he did is no different from what they have been doing, since 1999, claiming to have removed fuel subsidy, while Nigerians keep on suffering, keep on tightening their belts, especially this present removal of fuel subsidy without any palliative whatsoever. Many Nigerians think that at least this suffering they are passing through, as time goes on, everything will stabilize. But from what these reputable economists have told us, has revealed in this video, we still have a long way to go. The last has not been heard about fuel subsidy in Nigeria. It is so sad that Nigerians are being scammed like this every other time with the issue of fuel subsidy. How long can Nigerians continue to suffer under governments that will not tell them the truth? Because for you to say that you are courageous enough to remove fuel subsidy, do it 100% so that Nigerians will know once and for all that you have done it. The way they did it in diesel, no subsidy in diesel, 100%. So that if you are using diesel, you know what you are doing. But you cannot come and pretend that you have removed fuel subsidy. Meanwhile, you only reduce it. You didn't totally remove it. But you are giving the impression that you have totally removed it. Then in a few months' time, maybe there's a sudden cyclical change in the world economy. The price of oil suddenly slump and something like that. And then you begin to talk about that, look, we have to do something about this. Then you begin to tell Nigerians that, look, we have to remove fuel subsidy. But meanwhile, the Nigerians are having the impression right now that the fuel subsidy has been wholly, totally removed. We should stop. Our leaders should have the courage to tell Nigerians the truth at all times, so that Nigerians can know when they are suffering, that at least what they are suffering for, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But when you begin to obfuscate facts from them, it gives an impression that they are being deceived, and reinforce this assertion that fuel subsidy in Nigeria is a scam. So it means that the scam in the fuel subsidy is not just by those who are being paid these outrageous amounts as beneficiaries of the fuel subsidy, the importers, but it's also a scam by those in government who manipulates the people's mind and didn't tell them the truth of what they are doing. Because it would have been better for the present administration in charge to say that, look, we are reducing fuel subsidy to this level. But the impression they give out there is that they have removed the fuel subsidy. And many Nigerians think that they will no longer hear anything further about fuel subsidy removal. But I can bet you with what Bismarck Rewane said, you are going to hear it more and more. Just like Buhari, when he came in 2015, said they are not going to pay any fuel subsidy. Based on their own words, how they were embarrassed to admit that they were paying subsidy. They said they were paying for under-recovery. But towards the end of the administration, they had the courage now to tell Nigerians that they have been paying for a subsidy. So it is important that Nigerians are aware of this, that more is coming. More subsidy, fuel subsidy removal are waiting in the future. I don't know when, But from what Bismarck Rewane said, and you better believe him, the fuel subsidy removal issue is not over until it is over. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you will be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.